Guys, we're up to lesson 7 of getting ready for 6th grade math. You're doing great. You're taking your time. Lesson 7 is dividing fractions by a whole number. We've totally done that in 5th grade. We had a whole unit on fractions, and we learned how to multiply fractions, add and subtract fractions, and divide them. So it's coming back again. So I don't want to hear, oh, I don't know how to do this. Yes, you do. It's just a little twist to it, which I think you'll be fine on. In fact, I really believe this is a repeat lesson. They're just trying to scare you that saying it's 6th grade, but you'll be fine. So I have the page that you have, which is page 259, and I'm going to be unlocking the problem that's there. First of all, what's your aim is how do you divide a fraction by a whole number? We've done that. Let's review. Here is the problem. 4 friends share 2/3 of a quart of ice cream equally. What fraction of a quart of ice cream does each friend get? Don't overanalyze. Put yourself in the situation. Remember, we had word problems, and we learned how to read it carefully in order to make the equation from it. If you use Chase, you can already find your clues. You know your question. You have to figure out what's the fraction. Our answer is going to be a fraction. What fraction of a quart of ice cream does each friend get? Here's your clues. Sharing, equally, and each. Doesn't that sound like division? Yes. So if there's you and your 3 friends, there's 4 of you, and you have a quart of ice cream, that's only 2/3 of it left, and you guys want an equal amount, what's your equation going to be? Yes, I know they give it to you, but it's good to refresh our minds. It's not going to be 4 divided by 2/3. Because remember, we do not divide people. We can't cut people in half. It's 4 friends sharing ice cream. You want to break up the ice cream. Okay, so they give you, here's the ice cream, it's 2/3, and you're going to divide it by 4 friends. Remember? Yes. So remember with dividing fractions, it was keep, change, flip. Remember that? KCF, keep, change, flip. Yes? So we're going to keep the first one, change the division to multiplication, and we're going to flip the second digit. It's a whole number. Technically, it's 4/1. So be careful when you're flipping. It's going to become 1/4. Right? Remember all this? And then you multiply across. 2 times 1 is 2. And then 3 times 4 is 12. And then you remember that we always ask for our answers to be in simplest form. So can you put 2/12? Can you reduce it to lowest terms? Yes. By 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 12 divided by 2 is 6. So your final answer is 1/6. Remember all this? Okay. Don't turn off the video yet. Don't be like, oh yeah, I got this. Okay, this is easy. Let me go. Wait a minute. This is one way you can do it. However, according to our classwork and our homework, they want us to be using a model to find the quotient and write the quotient in simplest form. I'm going to show you how to do that. In fact, we've also done this before using models. I'm just going to reteach it again, but I want to show you that dividing fractions can be done in 2 ways, 2 different strategies. KCF, which is everyone's favorite, and there's also the model way. If they're asking for models, you're going to have to do it. It's easier than you think, so let's slow down with it. So I solved this equation using KCF. I want to solve this equation, the same one, using models. So it's really 2/3 divided by 4. And they want to see the model with the answer. So I really want to see 2/12 as my answer. Okay? In the model. Your simplest form does not have to be in the model. I will show you everything. Hold on. Your first thing is you're going to take your first digit, which is the fraction, and draw a model from it. So I want it cut into thirds because of the denominators here. So I'll do a box like this, and there's thirds. And I need to shade in 2 because of the 2 on top. And this will represent 2/3, right? But then I need to take, this is kind of like representing the ice cream. And I have to take this ice cream, the 2/3 of it, and cut it into fourths, right? So I'm going to take the same thing and cut it into fourths. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm showing you here because here's 2/3. But then it says, after I divide the rectangle to fourths by drawing the horizontal lines, shade 1/4 of the 2/3 already shaded. Okay? So, shade 1/4 of the 2/3. So if this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what you see on that page. How many is shaded twice? 2 out of 12. Because look, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 8, 12. There's 12 altogether. And I shaded twice 2 of them, which is equal to 2/12, like we got here. And then when I reduce it, or put it in the simplest form, it's 1/6. But each part is 1/12 of the rectangle, right? As you can see, this is 1. So 2 parts are shaded twice. So that's how we get the answer through a model. I did once the strategy of KCF, and I did the strategy, 2/12, of modeling, of using the model. Okay? Let's try another one. Let's go into the bottom of page 259. It says use 3/4 divided by 2. Okay, I'm going to use a model because KCF, I'll check it with KCF afterwards to make sure it matches it. It's okay. So let's do 3/4 divided by 2. So I'm going to start with the first number, the fraction. I'm going to put it into fourths. And you know what? According to your classwork and your homework page, basically, I think they already made the model for you. As I'm looking at it. Yeah, they already made the models for you. So you don't have to worry about what I'm worried about right now is actually creating the model. So what you have to do is, I think the model's there and you shade it unless it tells you to complete the model. Okay, so I'm going to cut this guy into fourths. All right. And I want to shade 3 of them because that's what it's telling me. 3 out of the 4. And then divide the rectangle into halves, is telling me. Shade 1/2 of the 3/4 already shaded. So divide the rectangle into half because this 2 becomes 1/2 if I flipped it. Keep, change, flip. If I do KCF, it's 3/4 times 1/2 because this is 2/1. Okay. Now, this 2 is a half. That's how I know to cut it in half. So I'm going to cut this guy in half. Okay. Shade 1/2 of the 3/4 already shaded. So if I cut it in half and then I shade half of the 3/4, this is half of the 3/4. All this. This top part is half of it. Right? And I want to shade half of it. How many is shaded twice? 3. 3 out of what? How many is there altogether after I cut it in half? 2, 4, 6, 8. And if you look at KCF, 3 times 1 is 3, 4 times 2 is 8. Does this model match my KCF strategy way? Is it the same answer? Yes. One is through numbers and one's through a model form. You're basically finding which ones have been shaded twice. Twice shaded out of how many altogether? Now, 3/8, can I make that into simplest form? No, there's no number out of there. Okay, let's see. Maybe you could use one more. Let's go to page 260, and let's try number 3. Number 3 says 2/3 divided by 3. This is number 3. 2/3 divided by 3. If you want to make the equation in KCF style to help you understand how to shade the model, it's okay. So this would be 2/3 times 1/3, right? When you do the KCF. Okay, but I want to draw a model. So I want 3 again, because that's what the bottom number is telling me. I'm going to shade 2 because that's what the top one is telling me. And then I'm going to cut it into thirds, going across. Cool. And then I'm going to shade 1/3 of it. How many do I have altogether? 3, 6, 9. And look, 3 times 3 is 9. And how many shaded twice? 2. And look, 2 times 1 is 2. 2 ninths. Can I reduce 2 ninths? No. So that's my final answer. That's it. So when you are doing your work, you must be shading in the models, and your answer should be in simplest form if you can make it simplest form. So when I'm checking your work, I'm going to be checking your models to make sure that you shaded correctly. This will absolutely be posted. Please keep rewinding me to understand it over and over again of how to do it. Okay, it's okay. You're expected to practice the classwork, page 260, and you're definitely expected to do the homework page, which is considered page 7, and submit that. Okay? You'll be fine. Hit me up if you have any questions.